We saw yesterday as well in the ESL Challenger League, the Bad News Eagles can sometimes just start to push through and it's even Steven, and maybe that's what HEET was waiting for. The problem is, it doesn't matter if Rigon and Juan Flatcher are going to hit shots like that. Maka, the only one to respawn, and by the time Juan Flatcher is getting involved, Maka is going to be taken down soon after. So Nopsy and Scenario to finish things off, and it's as easy as can be. No bomb plant either for HEET.
Enough. They had enough in the tank there to actually get the bomb down, but we're just constantly pressured.
Oh, Synopsy. Alright. We'll be able to make quick work of Joko, despite taking some body damage. It's all down to Rigon, and he gonna be going to get some eco. Really got some bad Molotovs around here.
Yeah, kind of just winging them in a few places, it seems like. But this is looking like the first round here for HEET. That Molotov didn't look like it was going to hit anybody, really. But Joko is somehow burned to the flames. So now from a 2-on-4 to a 2-on-3, I think B&E are tempted to give this a shot.
They've got money as well to work with, so yep, you're right, temptation's definitely going to be there. Smoke at the ready, Ecstasy, he's gone. Flashbang or not, Scenario will still get the frag. Smoke quickly deployed so that his teammate has a bit more of a chance, and Rigon inside of it is going for the defuse, no chance.
Is not quite as fun.
Flashbang through, Rigon. Farming it up. And look, as much as I might say it's farming, this and that, it's super important to maintain this economy with how bad you like to play, right? Like those clutches that they want to go for, those 1vx's they want to try, and just have an attempt in there as well. But
yeah, would maybe be expecting more here from HEET on their map pick in the series. Again, a lot of unknowns about this team, but hope that the most amount of repetitions is what they're most comfortable with. Rigon, once again, will not be cleared for around that smoke, but Synopsy doesn't do much better. Rigon at least got the 1 kill, but now a couple of rifles that can be recovered. GXX quick to rotate over, but they've lost their handle on this bomb site. Molly will buy a little bit of time. Maka not going to be burned out by it. Teammate extinguishing those flames, and they're trapped behind a wall here, B&E, and they need to get in back into this site. They've got HEs as well that they can stack in onto the site. One Flatcher getting bombarded, but 3-on-3 now to play.
Smoke up to cover down short. Scenario will actually be able to move past him with the smoke down. He's actually going to try and cap away on the bomb. One Flatcher to defend it off. There's no one coming in from the side. Scenario just gets a free defuse. Are you kidding me? The smoking to invoke upon the entirety of HEET. 2 players looking away. They are not going to be expecting him whatsoever. Only good for the one. Peeks out at the worst possible timing. Right when Maka turned around to keep an eye out for a sandbags push to come through potentially. So it's still a 3-on-3 as the bomb is planted. Molotov failed.
That won't connect too much either. Maka actually getting hit by distance by Scenario. Certainly low, and Exorcist is still holding a mantle on short and just hoping that his teammates can swing off contact if they decide to peek up high. Synopsy will, well, leap straight over his teammate. They're looking to back away from this bomb site. Not a lot of money in the back pocket, but actually resetting. Oh, yeah. AWP had to reload, and that wasn't a great timing for his teammate to go out and die. Out in the open, Lucky, very brazen to sit
down soon. He knows his responsibilities, and he wants to own up to them soon. Flashbang will not matter. Still, Synopsy holding out a very tight angle. And as he peeks forward, both Oppers missing out the opportunities. Exorcist, however, there to punish, and as Scenario is got out of the flank, Juan Flatcher will do no better. 2-on-5. And Bad News Eagles have really dropped the ball, it feels like, to let HEET end out this half on 5 rounds. We're off to a break.
Lucky's going to have to try and hold on to this bomb site best he can. First kill's there onto Rigon, and counter kill could be coming in quick for the Bad News Eagle squad. No, Dooley's reign supreme, and over at B, Maka will have a similar success, but only for one. Rasmo does make his way to the back of the bomb site in time, and there are 2 players coming his way nice and fast, but rotates and help are coming their way as well. Synopsy does eventually deal with that pesky site player, but he's still got bomb on back and has enough time to reset either direction, and so he's going to try and play the mind games, the long con for Joko and Lucky, all while hitting hops along the way.
I didn't know Easter was coming this soon. Synopsy's got to make sure that the chocolate doesn't go bad, though. As he will be able to plant down that egg and see what exactly comes off it later on. Because remember, HEET, they've got a lot of different pathways that they can follow over. They don't have a kit, though, so they have to try and accelerate soon. Synopsy I think he might be playing with the idea of, hey, is there maybe a deagle or something here? But no, he's waiting for them to start pushing forward, knows where they're coming in from. First one, not looking.
Shadow could have been spotted there from Rasmo. Not sure that Rigon could have seen it through that smoke, though. And now just moving in with the flashes, taking Sanctuary inside of that smoke and actually pathing through it. The spray transfer not going to connect on it. Synopsy and GXX will now activate on the secondary prong of the assault. SMG over, Synopsy with 1, but GXX wasn't close behind him. No quick trade available, but Lucky may think he's a little safer than he actually is, taking deeper and deeper position inside of spawn and hoping that he can catch out a potential rotate, but GXX does exactly that in circumstances. But yeah, cluttered comms looking like Rasmo won't mess around with his Deeg. One kill does get found. Rigon gets a double before blinded up and finished off. Rasmo's Deeg is still hitting shots, so 2 on 2, and the 5-7 lethal. Got a weapon on Lucky's hands, so now it's GXX to clutch, and a 1 on 2 where shoulders are offered up. Can't hit the timing.
Yeah, GXX, maybe another opportunity given up to him. That 1 on 2, but he misses out again. Maka. It is Synopsy to try and bloody it up a little bit. Joko and Rasmo opening it up, and they're going to keep it going. GXX and Rigon are wondering, what? I'm sorry. We leave you alone for 2 minutes, and this is what happens? Maybe it's Rigon's chance to add a few more to the tally. He's certainly feeling himself. He's certainly the man who you would hope to be in a situation like this. And the bomb is down. HEET, 2 guns recovered. Not the full 3. And as they all start to funnel back and move over to the A bomb site, we've got to keep in mind they do not have a kit. So any kills to come through fast from the Bad News Eagles side becomes all the more impressive and all the more important. Molotov out for sandbags, flashbang set up, and they're pushing him down, but GXX is bulldozing them right over. He goes. Maka's alone. Another 1-on-1. Is it going to be? Is it meant to be? Maka in hot pursuit. The 10-second mark. Tagging.
Life here in the pistol.
Had a lot of signs of life from Maka in the first map. Unfortunately, Rigon was just full of it a little bit more so. Fantastic performances from either side, but this time it's Lucky to start things off very similarly with the dualies as what we saw in the first map. But now, Lucky, well, won't be contested with any more players coming his way, at least not anytime soon. Rigon dodges out the flash and fades away. In the meanwhile, push is coming in from B Cave instead, where Joker's been pushed back. Lucky still fighting it out with the dualies, trying to duel and take more place and more space. It's Rasmo to actually come into effect. Now Rigon all alone. Very similar circumstances to what the pistol round and Vertigo looked like. And out of the A-bomb set, trying to push through and see whether they can look to get a quick flank. Rigon, prime target forward, and he's heard them thunderfooting towards him. Now needs to try and line them up. Only good for the 1. And this could potentially be an AK save forward. GXX is licking his lips as he hears the eco frags having go.
Or maybe even not 1 round from Joko. No one else from HEET really showed up until much later into that game, and it was far too late. Lucky has given up a lot of room over at B, but does have Joko inside of Cave that will get sectioned off. Actually, Joko getting a couple of these kills. No, they didn't smoke off the Cave. Instead, just threw the smoke onto short, and that allowed just an easy sightline for HEET to get some kills right back. GXX finally dealing with the problem man, but bomb can go down, not before. Ugh, no, it doesn't even go down. Synopsy full spammed, and Lucky continues onto GXX.
So that grenade's got to do more. Come on, Lucky. He's really picking up 4-leaf clovers from the ground all over the place. 38 seconds now as Joko will once again try and spray them down, but no one really sticking around long enough to give them a fair duel. Maka will be nowhere nearby, but Joko with a spam through the smoke doesn't need a fair duel, apparently. He's back to a 3-on-4, and Bad News Eagles are unsure about where to retreat back to. Maka's slow push back in will not be expected at all, and Scenari's death has found one flash through not too far off from actually meeting his own. And with GXX the only player left alive, it feels like this defuse is inevitable. Does get spotted out, Maka re-peeking back over, and that means that they can just go for the defuse and even tag him up through the flimsy cardboard. That is the cubby wall.
Yeah, they'll get him just.
We'll have to wait to see whether HEET have got something in cars. Passivity has been paying off for them so far when Maka's on the bomb site. This time will be no different as he re-peeks back over. Time and time again, it feels like that bullet nerf was made just for him.
He just kept shooting in rhythm and didn't miss a shot when it came to players on his screen. They have got the bomb and space over towards A. They are completely boxed in, though. flank coming in quick, and I don't think GXX is going to be quite ready for an A main possession, and yeah, Exorcist will deal with him. A scenario 1-on-4, again, he's not had the hottest of games, and they are everywhere. This would be a full-on deathmatch clip if it exists. Scenari, first kill, second as well. He's trying to spin all about the shot, but no one peeking him for those final bullets. So, Lucky's low, so is Erasmo. Getting pressured over at the A-bomb side. Spam onto GXX is right on the money, but Rigon's finally dealt with, but Scenari's got the critical kill on A. This can pull rotations over for the CTs, and Luck is completely boxed in, so there is no safety on either side of the map. Finally, Joko trading things back, but they're unsure. Where's the real pressure coming in? Bombs making the wrap round to A, and Maka's trying to insert himself on some level of a flank. Information can be gathered and can certainly hear the steps inside of A main. They will be here so much faster than B&E anticipate.
XSEs. He's wondering about whether or not to actually reveal his position. Will end up doing so. Almost picks up the bomb planter before it's even down. Synopsy instead will fall later on, and it's Maka peeks around the corner. He'll end it with 17. It's 8 secured. Around. Scenari starting off with 2 flashes. Everyone else got Kevlar and weapons. One flat true though. He's got weapons in his mind, and unfortunately not on his teammates. Synopsy is down and out. One flash is fully flashed, and the Molotov will actually force him back as well as Scenari falls too. All 3 players on this B bomb site are completely dismantled.
Yeah, GXX will finally answer with a couple of kills rather quickly as well, and might have caught the Heat players a little bit off guard. Rasmo on the bomb site, but didn't survive for their move into A, and there's no presence here from B&E. They have been shot in the back in transition, though, and while Lucky gets one right back, he's tagged to low HP, and Rasmo, in an effort to cover Lucky off, let him get to this site. He's lost his life 1-on-3, and Lucky has no HP to play off of. Only a singular box. That's his singular friend, and, well, he wish he had one more friend to trade.
Now you're just hoping for heroics. The 2 players who did go down are the ones who've been having a harder time so far. Lucky, however, has been a much more reliable member of the back so far for Heat, and it feels like Joko, the only player to get some frags, will be picking up 2 nice shots initially. Maka, however, not ready for the PK from Rigon. Again, traditional flying senses cannot apply. You cannot think that I'm in a 1-on-3 and I'm not going to get beat.
Looking good, in all honesty, but a lot of just flair that we expect. Scenari, 1 kill, won't quite cut it. One Flatcher a little detached, and Cave not smoked off, but a fair fight for Joko that will have him on top. Obviously will move in to try and guard this weapon, but smoke down. Again, information gained. Rigon even sussing out Rasmo, trying to hold in on that flank, but the bomb's not even planted yet. They're actually trying to run deep CT and go and subvert their expectations, but GXX gets both on the AWP. Weren't comfortable with how much they were boxed in, and Heat get nothing. They get the entries they need.
Right. This is where Scenari needs to come up clutch once again. Great timing found as Exorcist is going to be taken down, but it's all Synopsy. Erasmo with the double. And I have to say, if there was ever a moment to rue your decisions of purchasing, I think this might be it. Synopsy coming in from the side. Bombs being tapped, but before it is, pulls out a grenade. Oh my days.
Together wins on poor buys. That's the historical truth, and we'll have to see whether that history repeats itself. Heat, very quick into A, and no real presence. GXX already gunned down in Synopsy section by the smoke. Lucky's shot straight through it. It doesn't matter. They're pulling out nades right in front of them, and Heat look destined to go to overtime. Lucky, another double, but Rigon's the last man standing. 1-on-3 now to bring us through to a second map win for B&E, or Heat overtime.
Not the most convincing performance on Ancient so far, but Rigon, one last chance in regulation, a chance at...
If there was going to be a chance back into this round, that was it right there, and it's been missed. GXX getting another instead onto Exorcist. That's the A player, at least one last scene, and this is a small exploitation. Flashed Maka off, and GXX is closing in on that gap. Smoke as well onto Maka's AWP. Can cross. There's a massive gap. Maka thinks he's gone all the way through, so GXX gets a freebie. So 1-on-1 here with the newbie of Heat. Rasmo inside the side and sitting around the other side of the cave. GXX may think he's taken a more passive approach. A super open plant, and GXX...
but Duke us out. Synopsy in the meanwhile, but Maka low, but Maka just pulls out the 5-7. And he fights his way out of there. Lucky.
Didn't see.
All in the meanwhile, A1 spotted out. One Flatch who had the gap and the smoke to work off of. And in the meanwhile, XSEs has gone and said good night as well. Maka, 1-on-3 without HP. Good for a kill. Oh my god. Guys, please. I'm begging you. Oh, there is nothing to be gained here. And Maka is the only one who stands to get something out of this. Taking another peek forward, smoking himself off. He's giving himself a real chance in Scenari. Oh, he's been tagged as well. Maka trying to spray back. 4 HP on the man. Maka's gone and done it. Nothing will stop him. You've got the peaks right there, but no. The time. He's not going to know at all. Rigon. Oh, never mind. He does. He knows. Okay. They know. They already found out as well. Into the 4-on-3, they try and go for a double lurk aggressively forward. They're both discovered and taken down, and suddenly HEET are thinking, how did we get that advantage back?
Open flank here for GXX. Yeah, they're giving them space. They don't want to fall into any weird shenanigans, going for hunts. Rasmussen's going to be here so fast and can already clear positions before his teammates rendezvous.
Exactly. Glenn out the backside already knows where most of these players are going to be coming over from. Smoked off the angle now as well, but that smoke is going to be dissipating soon. HEET will close it out. 19 rounds on the board.
To be a staple of your map pool, and we'll have to see how things go out. Rigon very quickly out towards the A bomb site, but they're actually getting clustered up. The smokes aren't doing them many favors either. Flashes as well onto their own teammates, and XSEs has already dealt with one, only for Rigon to answer back, but now a flurry of frags come in for B&E. 2-on-3 for the post plant.
The light hit coming out from Boiler is able to give them a lot to work off of, and now Maka and Joko left with barely anything themselves. Joko tries to come through, pairs it up with the Maka flashbang, and as soon as the peak will come forward, they will find absolutely nothing. The T side, having cleared out the entirety of the bomb site, will now move into a reface. One flat to lead the shots and Synopsy to follow through, and some flub shots from one end means that Synopsy
due to contest this, might even try and build the boost late in, but no, Spam's actually right on the money. Lucky doing most of the damage, but Joko finishing off the frag, and a 4-on-3 where these smokes won't last forever. B&E don't have any more utility to help stall as well. Only a singular Molotov that remains after the bloom of the coffin smoke, but HEET have time to play with. No kit once again, but they've got utility to limit options.
Yeah, this is going to be a real hard time for Scenario as he's forced back into peeking forward into 3 players. Synopsy does give him a whole lot of space with a quick old triple. There are 4 CTs here, so somehow it is a 4-on-3 potentially. Bad News Eagles started to push forward. Well, that's what happens. Rasmo picks up the first. The boost is dismantled, and XSEs isn't done yet. Leaves Rigon all alone at the bottom of Banana. He may have the bomb, but he doesn't have a chance.
Oh. Yeah, Lucky wasn't scared. Knew he did so much damage to a full-on crunch. This is going to really test both Rasmo and XSEs.
XSEs worried about a pop through the smoke, and he would be right to worry about it, but there aren't any flashes that he's turning around from. Picks up a quick double. Rasmo needs to hold down the line. Scenari being tagged up, but he's done his job and distracted while the bomb is planted, so at the very least, an extra bit of cash infusion to come through, but what they need is a bullet infusion to the CT side, and that is one IV that it doesn't feel like will be connecting anytime soon. Flashbang there, Scenari, good kill. GXX with a follow-up does bring it back to a 2-on-2. Scenari still with a chance in it. Maka is just going to try and stick out the defuse. The question is he going to get it completely? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Feels like they're not putting both feet in one pot. Good double nade.
Goodbye, right? Really hoping that he can maybe come through and pull off some of those little plinks that Joko is delivering with the 5-7 as well. But nah, man, it just feels like, again, not to beat on a broken drum. But that one round where he chose to go for the very late retake attempt, it just feels like that's exactly what's coming back to bite them, and it's sort of funny because that's actually the way that... No, hold the point, because he has picked up an AK, but Molotov out in his hands, and that's not the right... And barely has any recoil, don't forget that. Rasmo, Molotov to go down close to Ropz. He's going to be forced out, but he takes the duel and wins him out. Double over. Exorcise is pulling out the knife. Oh my days, if anything could be more egregious than that. It's a missed shots of Joko. Lucky is in a 1-on-5. No chance here whatsoever. He is really just begging for death, and it will be delivered. 9-6. Bad news to just try to save even. Doesn't seem like it, especially with Scenario finding the kills with the smoke. That will tempt them a little bit more, but honestly, even if not for that, they would still likely want to be a little bit bloodthirsty about the matter. And as they start to inch forward, Rasmo just needs to make sure he isn't just cut off while he tries to buy time for Exorcise by jiggling through. Exorcise able to strike through. And yeah, GXX will save. Scenario's actually not got armor, so it's funny to see him going back to take a peek over like he can take a gander. He should feel a bit more scared about it. Well, Flashbang 2 and Joko was really relying on these players being blinded out. Scenario, though, playing the perfect anti-flash position, and GXX to cover off one. Waits for the smoke to bloom. It will be missing up, but that forces him to re-peek in. A re-peek that Marco was ready to intercept. One flash through, though. Right behind them all. He's good for the first. Looks for the second, but it's Lucky who overruns and overwhelms. One flash did not wait for the digits to be punched in first. Instead, just takes the duels and will not win them out. At least not both of them. On. Once again, here's the digits being punched in, and now it's all down to him in a one-on-one. Rasmo on the other side just strafes in. Ready for the full side hit this time over, trying to posture back over to A instead. Rigon is here to intercept. He's good for the double before he straight it out, and with this, Rasmo needs to come into effect, but not in the way he was on the B-bomb side. This is much more about the late round presence he's able to display to keep one Flacho down and out, who's somehow on the right bomb site every single time, it seems like. Lucky, last man left alive, and in a one-on-one with the bomb still down, retrieve the AWP, and he's aware of Synopsis' shenanigans and games, but as he fades back over, will give up the sound cue. Synopsis not committing into the full swing yet. Lucky goes forward, someone's been given up, and Lucky just keeps on winning. Quad kill. This time over with the lack of weaponry to actually spur them on, and they are actually going through their own smokes, and this is going to be all the way fast forward. One Flachu covered off by Rigon, but he's been spotted out inside the bomb site. These pistols are trying to isolate the duels, but duels that are not going their way at all. Rigon comes up big with the triple, and it's even Synopsis time to push through the smoke as well. Lucky to recover the A4, but as he dodges out grenades, he won't realize there's only 4 bullets left in it. He's going to be forced back on the reload. Scenario trying to close the distance. It's a one-on-one and twice over. Did isolate the... Bad news, Eagles. Oh, no. This is still going to be a commitment to A. And they might end up being caught off. But the question is, are they going to be found out and wrap around to the back of B? The bomb is yet to commit, and they are getting unsure. They're getting uncertain. GXX has got long-range angles with the Deagle. Needs to start hitting some shots while one Flashu is ducked away, and he finds nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. Time may have ticked low, but it's ticked out as well for the Bad News Eagles. Rasmo to finish